Yeah, I think that it's important that we clarify this, because there is a different place, because the reality is when my body starts shaking, I didn't say, oh, I'm going to shake now.
No, I didn't make a cognitive decision.
I'm having a response. And in every event that we experience, there's an automatic response that happens. Now, where we go from that, we have some choices. But it's the analogy I like to use is if you've ever been standing, if you've ever done river rafting, right? And you've ever found yourself out of the boat, or you've been standing on a bank watching a raging river, and suddenly the bank gives way. You weren't planning to go into the water, but you're there. And you're now in a current. That current is more powerful than anything you will ever do. You know, whether I tell you in a riptide, swim against the tide, you die. Swim against the current in the river, you die, because you will never win, right? So what you have to recognize is that sometimes we're caught up in currents of our life that have nothing to do with our choosing. But once we're in the current, then we do what we can do. You know, they tell you, if you find yourself in the river, what do you try to do? You try to orient yourself to get your feet downstream so that you bounce off the rocks. You try to keep your head above water to breathe. You know what? And if you're with somebody, then you hold on tight, because if you lose them, they're gone. So whoever you're with, you hold on tight, keep your feet downriver, you try to stay above the water, and then you look for the place that you can make it out of that current, that you can make it into a pool, and you can make it onto the bank. And that's the important thing to understand is that when you have PTSD, you're in the current. And nobody expects you to be able to swim against the current. Somebody, don't feel that way. It's like saying, you know, don't go with that current. Because you're powerless. And so what you have to do is, within the current, you try to orient yourself. The tapping, I think, is one of the ways that we orient ourselves. Once we're oriented, then we can start saying, how do I keep my head up? How do I hold on to that other person? How do I spot that log that's sticking out that I can grab onto? So once you're in that place where you can think again, once you're in that place where you can begin to make choices, then you are responsible for your choices.